Hey guys, welcome to this week's midweek Chewing the Fat. Today I have Joe Winchester, is it? Yes?
Yes, get my name. Yep.
Yeah, that confuses me. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. We're just going to examine been on the protocol for how long now?
10 weeks today.
10 weeks today. Cool.
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat and see what got you onto the protocol, the hows and whys behind that, and where you're at now and what sort of difference the protocol's made to not only your weight loss, but just life in general.
Okay.
So let's start with that. How did you
Where do I begin?
get on board, and what was the whys to why you?
Well, I guess like most, well, I want to speak for all women, but I would say that probably a lot of women from about your mid-20s, you start to, maybe put on weight that you could easily lose before. So I reckon I've been dieting since about my mid-20s.
Yep. And
doing different things, and I used to do Weight Watchers a lot, and that did work, and I will say it worked because I only started putting on weight again once I had kids. So in my 30s, having kids, I put on weight in the pregnancy and in that first year, and then I'd do something like Weight Watchers to lose it. But after I had our third child, Paige, who's now 3.5, I just couldn't, what I used to do just didn't work, just wasn't working. And that, I probably was cheating. Like looking back now, I was probably cheating. I probably wasn't sticking to it as strictly as I could have.
I love the way it's probably.
Yeah, okay, I did. Now that I'm well, it definitely wasn't coming off as quickly as what it had before.
Yeah.
And I actually went to the doctor and went, I think I've got a thyroid problem because it's in the family, And she tested me, and I ended up, they ended up finding other things, but nothing to do with weight loss. So it was good to go to the doctor anyway to check it out.
Yeah.
And then I tried like a gym challenge thing, and the weight came off because I didn't cheat. I stuck to the plan. But the thing with it was meal plan, so I didn't really learn anything. I didn't really learn why the weight was coming off. I knew it was, and I knew it was, but I didn't know why. So I kept it off for a little while, and then once I went overseas a couple of times last year, and it just came back on. And then when COVID hit, it was really hard for me because I'm a drama teacher. I teach at university. All my work is people, and I'm an actor in a theatre company. And so when that stopped, I found that really challenging. And so April was just really difficult, and I do what I always do and self-medicate with food and alcohol. So, and I knew I wasn't doing the right thing by myself or my family. So I was looking for something. And then you, my man, did your video. And my husband, James, saw the video and said, I'm doing this. And I said, if it's okay with you, can I do it too? It's like, yeah, of course, we can do it together. So, we jumped on board, and, so that's the why.
Right.
Yeah.
And was the theatre stuff getting harder with the weight gain as well, or?
What do you mean?
Well, just you said you're involved in acting in the theatre, and was participating in that getting harder with the weight gain as well, or not as enjoyable?
Well, it stopped. Well, it's more that it stopped. So the thing that I loved the most about my life, which was working with people and rehearsing, and stopped. So I was just depressed that we couldn't rehearse anymore. And we were doing online rehearsals, but it was not the same thing. It wasn't, so I guess my attitude made it harder to really stay connected with my theatre colleagues, I guess. But yeah, there wasn't anything happening. So
how have you found the protocol? How did you find being on it? And
the best thing about it for me was it was so easy to know what to do. And I think also watching the videos with you and Dean explained all the science behind it. So, once I understood why we were only having, green veggies and protein, and that was it, and a particular types of protein as well, not just any protein, that it gone from, because I had, it went from, being, what am I doing? What am I eating? Why am I putting on this weight? Why aren't I losing it? To my questions answered, and following that, following those very easy guidelines. And I think, if you just eat what's on that page and stick to the, protein levels, you'll lose weight. And that was just the truth. That's just what happened. And I think one day I might have eaten too much cooked kale, because I didn't realise when you cook the kale, it added to the, I'm like, well, I doubt that made much difference that week to cook the kale. So I think even though it is really restrictive at first, particularly, going from eating whatever you wanted and drinking whatever you wanted to being so restricted, it just made it so easy to know what to do and then the results.
Well, the sounds of it too, though, it really sets you up to be able to maintain that for yourself afterwards, because you know why and how what you're eating affects your body. So you come off that and you're off the protocol and you're back to general life again. You know what to eat with what and why not to, versus just getting supplied a meal or whatever and saying, okay, I've just got to eat that, and that worked, and now I'm not doing that anymore, and just having that effect and wondering why you're putting back the weight.
Exactly, and I think that's been really important for me, because I had, even before COVID, I was like, I know I put on weight. What am I going to do about it? Because I was just so tired of dieting. I just had dieted so often, and I, was going through this process of examining, do I lose the weight or not? Do I just say, F it all, I'm over 40 now. Yeah. This is, I was in conversations with people about that. And also, I identify as a feminist, and I don't want to judge people by the way they look, and, body beautiful type stuff. I actually found it really hard to know whether to even go on it or not. Yeah. But as soon as I spoke to Dean, so I was in that space of do I do it? And from that first conversation with Dean, it just, all that noise just went out of my head. And it just became about, because I set a goal for myself a couple of years ago of wanting to be the type of parent who was really present for my kids as they got older. And I knew that physical health had a real, important part to play. If I was physically healthy, then it would be much easier for me to be present and be a part of my kids' life, and if I have grandchildren, to be a part of their life. Yeah. So in that conversation with Dean, I just became so that, life goal, just all the noise went away. That life goal became really present. And I was like, this is why I need to lose the weight. This protocol is going to work. And also, I remember saying to Dean, this has got to be the last diet. I do not want to be in this position again.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, on that note, what difference has the coaching side of it made to the diet itself and for you, not only just the diet, but what difference has that made for you in your life as well?
It has been everything, because I think, you know, in one of the videos you guys say every kilo has a story or something, and it's like, I think that is so true, because every week to get to this stage, there has been some breakthrough in my thinking towards food and or myself and or how I am in the world. And even a really early one that I had was, because what happens is every time I've started a diet of 80 kilos, 80 kilos has always been my starting weight, every single. And I was like, why is that? Why is it that it's that weight that I allow myself to get to? Like a really early thing that I realized was that, well, if I set my weight, you know, my benchmark down to 64 kilos, which is the top of my BMI, then I'm never going to get to 80 kilos. I'm never going to be in this position again. So that was like a really early breakthrough for me, was like 64 is now my top. So therefore I will never, this will be the last diet, because I've already changed that thinking. And that was in the first couple of weeks. And every single week since then, you know, has been, you know, another one. Like even, because work was, you know, at a university, so work was still going on, you know, and I was learning a completely new skill, online teaching. I'd never done it before. And it got hard, you know, it was hard at some times and didn't always get the best feedback and whatever. And usually what I do is come home and have a couple of glasses of wine to deal with that stress.
Yeah.
And knowing I couldn't do that, you know, and just because you also check in with how you're feeling with Dean, not just your weight, not just what you've eaten, but how you're feeling. Yeah. You know, I texted and said, you know, crappy day at work. And then he responded with, you know, just really thoughtful things about how to, you know, let those feelings go, just that sort of stuff. And so that was another breakthrough. And I was like, okay, so now I know if I had a crap day at work, I'm not going to go to the wine anymore, you know. And in fact, I've already made that commitment to myself that, you know, I won't self-medicate with alcohol or food if on a bad day, but have found other coping strategies. And, you know, it's been so long now, and, you know, you have good and bad days. I now go straight to those healthier coping strategies than what I was before.
Yeah, I've noticed that I not when you say coping strategy, same thing, but it doesn't matter whether I'm coping with a bad day. If I come home from a gig and I'm excited from the gig,
yeah, that's right.
You know, it's 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I come home, I just go, I'm ready to have a couple of beers and eat. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, all those, it's amazing for me, how much I turn to food for all occasions, the bad ones.
Yeah. That's right. When I'm happy, when I'm sad, excited, bored.
Exactly right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how much weight have you lost so far?
10.8 kilos as of today. Cool. So which is, I mean, I think for a woman, you know, losing on average a kilo a week, like it was more at the beginning and it slowed down a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know, and over 10 centimeters off my waist and that stuff.
Yeah.
Just seeing the results is, you know, it's, bonus. Yeah.
And what's that making available for you now? What's your experience of life now compared to what it was before the diet?
Well, I think one of the things that has opened me up, because this is the weight I'm at now, and I'm still not in the healthy weight range if we look at BMI strictly, in the healthy waist range. I have gotten to this weight before and been happy because, you know, I don't mind how my weight looks, you know, now, and people noticed and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of become more than that as well, is how often in my life do I get to 80% or 70% of where I want to be and stop and say that's good enough?
Yeah.
And so while, to achieve my the first goal Dean and I set, I have to lose another 6 kilos or something. I kind of want to go before that, beyond that, because of that reason. Like, what happens if I go 100%? And doing that with weight loss has just, opened up other things about work or my relationships, or, I get to kind of good enough and then stop.
Me both. That's my life, forever. As long as I'm as good as or better than 70% of a room,
yeah.
I'm happy with that. And there's a lot of avenues we can go down with that conversation.
Yes,
but totally with you on that. And what have the kids noticed anything different with you? And
I don't think so. They haven't noticed that I've lost the weight in the same way they've noticed James has lost the weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Spencer just said, "You look the same," and I was like, "Okay,
right." Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're a bit young, really, to self-analyze. But I know that I'm more present with them. I know I have more time for them.
Yeah.
I'm not all caught up in the noise, I realised how much time I was spending on deciding whether to eat or not, or, what to eat, or whether I should eat, or I was like taking up so much of my time. And even I've gone out to dinner with friends twice since, like, being on protocol, and deciding beforehand, like looking at the menu going, okay, I'll have that, knowing I'm going to have that and a soda water, and that's my meal. I was so much more present to the people I was with. I wasn't thinking about what entree shall I get, or should I get an entree, or what dinner, or that pasta looks nice, or it was like all that decision had already been made prior to.
Yeah.
So I could just, be with people. And both times I had conversations with people that I hadn't had before, that I had really great, really good, deep conversations where we went, I learned about, because both settings were kind of group, talk to people I hadn't really spent time talking with before, and just found out all these things about them, because there was no noise in my head. There was no thinking. There was no, it was just, I'm actually here to, that's the point of the dinner, was not the food, but the people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that at home as well, was that, not, there's a bit more cooking to do at the moment, but that's okay. But have
you become more, I've spoken to a couple of people, and they're saying the cooking side of it they're loving, because they're becoming more creative with actually thinking about the food they're eating more, and becoming more creative in how they're cooking it and what they're using to cook with and all that sort of thing. Are you finding that as well? Or?
Yes and no. Like, I think after doing the meal plan challenge, like I had, and I like cooking, so in a way it's been a bit the opposite with me, because I already had that want to make food interesting thing.
Right.
So when I first saw the protocol and how, the lack of choice, as I saw it at the beginning, I was, tears welled up with like, what the hell? And like and then I was excited because I came up with, say, sang choy bao made with chicken breast, and made that a couple of times. That was delicious. Or chicken enchiladas and the lettuce is the wrap. And so at the beginning I was creative and tried to make it interesting, but I've now, that's one of the things Dean said early on, is to just go, to actually just go through the boring side of food as well, and just be okay with it. And so to be honest, in the last couple of weeks, I more than likely go to the chicken and salad, which is what James has been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
I go to that kind of boring option because I'm embracing that a bit more. Because I did have, you know, I like variety in food, and there's nothing wrong with that, but also it's good for me to just, you know, have my protein shake and my salad at lunch and be okay with that and not want something extra.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for the chat. And
can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
because
sure.
I think it's important. One more thing that I find that is like unique about this program is, and I guess this comes in with the coaching, and this is the coaching really. But, you know, Dean said to me, you can't, you know, said don't cheat. And he said, if you do, there's no making up for it. He said, you've got to deal with why you cheated and then move on. And that is the complete opposite to any other diet out there, because other diets like Weight Watchers or like gym meals or whatever they're like, it's okay, you know, it's okay if you cheat. It's okay. You can, you know, eat a bit less the next day or go work it off in the gym, or there's this kind of backup to you cheating or going off the plan. And so I used that out, you know, often. And whereas with this, because you're not eating that much, you can't really eat less than what you did. But also, that has completely changed my mindset around not just food, but also everything. You know, what am I cheating at? What am I doing at? Yeah, and I guess it's that 80% thing. What am I doing at 80% rather than sticking to it as it's meant to be?
Yeah.
And yeah, the thought of telling Dean that I had cheated is also, yeah, I couldn't do that. It was bad enough working out, yeah. When I started exercising again, trying to negotiate that with him, that was scary enough.
At the same time, though, it is a real access to dealing with the why behind the cheating, because it's never about I was craving this or my body was screaming for cheese, or, you know, that's just made up story to buy you off to go and eat what you want to eat. But there is accountability there.
Yeah, yeah.
But then there's also there's no make wrong in the cheating. It's just that's happened. You can't make up for it. It's like time, really. You know.
Yeah.
Lost time. It's impossible. So it's But then there's the dealing with that. I think that's the greatest thing with the coaching, is that you get to deal with the why behind it versus, okay, you cheated, just spend an extra half hour on the treadmill and away you go. You never deal with that side of stuff normally. Yeah,
that's right. And I think so often, particularly around, you know, dieting, exercise, we think we know more because there's so much information coming at us the whole time that, you know, oh, it's okay if I exercise an extra time. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not because of, you know, X, Y, and Z. And as you say, it's not about being in trouble or anything like that. It's about, you know, this is the program, and, you know, stick to it. And as you say, deal with why you've made that, just really deal with why you made that decision. Not just brush it off as, oh, a moment of weakness or whatever. Like, actually deal with what it is that's stopping you from, you know, even stopping you from losing the weight in the first place. Like, and that has been, and I think when I hit, like, when I lost 10 kilos, that losing, you know, weight this last week, I just have felt that extra shift of, I can keep going, and what's it actually going to take for me to get to that ultimate goal. You know, I have to, you know, I still feel there's more discovery there to come.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I've found all the things I can find yet. And that is a bit scary too. You know, what else is there hidden?
Scary, but great. All the great stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't highly recommend everyone take the challenge.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks again, Joe. We might check back
Thanks, guys.
and see how you're going and
Okay.
update everyone and see where you're at.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
We'll see you. We'll see you later tonight for another episode of Chewing the Fat with Dean himself.
Can't wait. Thanks.